Magic. Getting back to this topic never gets bothersome. So versatile are the means to mastering it, having an amazing memory is not an obligatory requirement for some wizards. In fact, while most mages spend countless nights memorizing a simple fireball spell, there was one who could temporarily mimic incantations cast by others. As great a talent as it may be, that was by far not the only skill of this renowned magic user. The man became a legendary wizard and crafter of magic items, known all over the world, respected and feared. Even the most powerful individuals hesitated to utter his very name. Cold sweat covers my brow by the mere intention of introducing this awesome persona. His name was Aghanim. But this story is not about the fabled craftsman, it's about his son, Rubik. Rubik grew as Aghanim's protege, looking up to him and seeing no other purpose in life than to make him proud. The boy immediately developed an affinity to magic and learned it without too much trouble. Although the quick progress Rubik was making was not enough for him, he lamented not possessing his father's artificer skills or the talent to imitate the spells of other mages. Aghanim was always proud of his son and was more upset with Rubik's disappointment in himself rather than his lack of talents. One day, during daily training, Aghanim bestowed his most prized creation upon his son. Rubik held the scepter's gemmed golden hilt and basked in the radiating glow of the blue blade-like crystal on top of it. The item was an embodiment of Aghanim's amazing ability to mimic his opponent's spells and even augmented them to become more powerful. The scepter recognized its master's blood within the holder and began to act unexpectedly. The relic unlocked Rubik's birthright ability to borrow other casters' spells and greatly boosted his overall power and sense of self-worth. Alas, fearing for the possible event of Rubik completely losing control of his newfound fountain of power, Aghanim took the scepter out of his son's hands. Rubik was greatly displeased at this, but after a long talk, understood his father's actions. He was not yet ready to wield such power. As the boy grew into a man, Rubik's newfound sense of self-worth beckoned him to set out and prove his power to both his father and himself. He set out on a quest to perfect himself and one day earned the right to permanently wield his father's legendary scepter. Some saw Rubik as merely his father's only weakness, and set out to kidnap or kill him for leverage. Rubik fought off many assassins and assailants, and grew very fond of battle. He later started seeking other talented wizards to duel, and reveled in his ability to outsmart and overpower every foe with his ability to use their own magic against them. As years went by, Rubik started running out of worthy opponents. He craved to fight those who were considered the best of the best among the spellcasters of the world. He was especially interested in finding one known as Arsenal Magus, a wizard that possessed an incredible knowledge of impossibly complex spells that Rubik intended to borrow. He did what anyone in his desperate situation would do: announced the intention of killing a Magus, a highly ranked individual amongst magic users. This act greatly unsettled the Magus community, not knowing if the mad duelist wanted to kill a specific Magus or the first he'd come across. Being used to unchivalrous acts of competition, they decided to band together, re-establishing old friendships and pushing aside old rivalries. They assaulted Rubik in small groups, taking with them the knowledge and experience they've gathered throughout their lives. But Rubik was smart and patient. He used his own selection of spells for defensive purposes and watched carefully which of the spells cast by his attackers could be best used against them. The assailants were confused and started to suspect that their peers have turned against them. Friendships crumbled and truces diminished as one Magus turned on another. Rubik watched gleefully as his plan unfurled flawlessly. The battle lasted for almost a week. It more resembled a war than a squabble of no more than 20 people, judging by the destruction and chaos it left behind. Some were incapacitated and maimed. Many were killed by Rubik or their comrades. The challenger himself stood fatigued but victorious. Proud in his deed, yet disappointed that the Arsenal Magus did not respond to his summons. That would have really made this battle legendary. Nevertheless, Rubik approached the Hidden Council with his petition of assumption, and the insubstantial 11 unanimously agreed that he is worthy of the title Grand Magus. He now felt worthy of wielding his father's masterpiece once again.